All right, we are rolling. What's going on, everybody? Today, we're gonna go through two captures. One with the Torpedo X, and then one with the Fryette power station. And we're gonna compare these and just see which one captures the PRS MT15 better. We're also going to take the MT15 at the end of this video and compare it to the 6505 to see the differences in those guys, but we're going to do a quick comparison. But let's go ahead and do this and rock out. Okay, so first I want to say that is during the capture process, I didn't experience any huge issues with in either of these, the Capture X or the power station. What I did do is did one capture that is just a regular straight up capture of flat, no EQ and no enhancements or anything. I did do another capture, which we can see here, is we have the Torpedo and then we have the enhanced versions, E and H for the Torpedo one and then enhanced for the Fryette. But we'll go through those and see if that actually makes the capture any better for the Quad Cortex. I am pushing the power through the Fryette. Guess that's it's already a little biased here, but the Torpedo X doesn't have a power amp or anything whatsoever to push through, so I can hear it through the speaker. Now we are hearing this through speakers. That's the way I always do stuff. I like to hear what it actually sounds like if you're in a live setting, because that's what we all want to capture, right? We got those hooked up to, these are G12H's in the speaker cab. They're a line 6 custom, but they sound great. I do have an SM57 and a Lewitt hooked up to this, so let's go ahead and get to it. What we do have is this amp selector. I have one being the 6505, two being the Quad Cortex, and three being the PRS. We'll go ahead and switch between those and see how this does. First, let's see what the PRS sounds like. I'm not going to mess with the EQ settings. I found what I like with the PRS. This is what I've kind of come to with these EQ settings and with the presence here as well. So we're going to go over to the PRS and check it out. Alright, sounds pretty good, right? Sounds like a 6505 to me. So let me just note that the full power engage or switch is engaged here. So take that into consideration. It does have that extra low end punch to this. So let's go ahead and go over to the Quad Cortex and let's do a quick riff and just kind of compare them. We're going to do the Capture X. Alright, so now the Quad Cortex. We're going to be on the Capture X, and this is the capture without any enhancements whatsoever. Alright, let's go back to the MT15. Alright, back to the Quad Cortex for the Capture X. Okay, I'm digging that. Sounds like it's got a really light, tight low end. MT15. Okay. All right, so now let's go back to the Quad Cortex, and we're going to compare the Capture X capture to the Fryette capture. and then we'll go back to the PRS. So here's the Fryette. Okay, I am noticing this capture has a little more girth to it. So the Fryette is finding that low end and adding it to this. Or I guess that's what I'm hearing in the difference between the Capture X and this. All right, so the Capture X. Back to the Fryette. Back to the Capture X. I mean, they sound both really good. Okay, so let's go back to MT15. All right. Quad Cortex cap. This is the Capture X. All right, Fryette. Okay, I am noticing just the low end. It seems more apparent on the Fryette. The Capture X seems a little thinner, but it has more of the top end clarity up there. So let's go between the Fryette and the PRS. MT15. Fryette capture. And we'll go back to the capture one more time. And back to the PRS. And let's do it one more time. Fryette. Okay, between these two, I think it's like right in the middle. The Capture X has that high end, and the Fryette has the low end. So it's interesting. Between the two, I'd pick with the Fryette on this one. So let's go over to the enhanced versions. Let's go back to the PRS and kind of get that back in our ears. All right. This is the Capture X enhanced. Back to the PRS. All right, so whenever I did this, I went ahead and pushed the enhance button on the Capture X, and there was a default setting. It was just kind of all over the place, but I went ahead and just put everything to noon. Now on the Fryette, what I did is I took the reactive load settings and put them in the middle. So what do we have? We have the warm and the bright. So that is the enhanced capture, I guess we can say. So that's what we're comparing, is the enhancement of the Capture X and the enhancement of the Fryette for those two things. So right now we're on the PRS. And now the Capture X. MT15. Now, so that capture sounds like it lost the mids. The PRS definitely kind of is shining as far as just being more present. Not really in the high end, but it sounds like with those enhancement settings, it just kind of scooped out the mids on that. All right, so let's go to the enhanced version of the Fryette. I like that. That sounds good. MT15. Okay, so back to the Fryette. That sounds a lot more fun for me to play. That's what I expect out of an enhancement. And it might not be a good comparison between and doing that at noon for the Capture X. I'm not super familiar with it, but I thought I'd give it a shot, and this is what it came out to be. So I like the Fryette's enhancement that I did more, and that was just putting it on warm and bright for those little reactive load EQ settings. So let's go between the Fryette and the Capture X and just kind of hear what that sounds like. That was the Fryette. Here's the Torpedo. All right, so I like the way the Fryette is just the way it is. Let's try this. I'm going to take the Fryette's, I guess, resonance and presence and see if I can get it closer to what I like about this. Let's go ahead and bring up, let's cut the presence and bring up the resonance. I'm still not there with it. Let's bring that back to noon. Okay, so the only thing that I would want out of this the Fryette capture is probably a little more brightness. So let's bring up the presence on the Fryette. I'm happy with that. So let's bring it back to noon and to the Capture X. Okay, let's go back over to the PRS and do a comparison between those two again and see where we're at. So there's the Capture X, PRS. PRS just sounds more throaty than that capture. And then back to the Fryette. So that's what I expect from an enhancement, is just pushing the lows and just a crisper highs. So the highs did not catch as well, I don't think, but this is still a lot better to my ear. All right, back to the Fryette. All right, so there we go. I think the Fryette kind of maintains the characteristics of the PRS MT15. So actually, this floor noise. So I'm good with that. The Capture X, the first capture without the enhancement, sounded better. It still definitely sounded a little thinner. It seems like the Fryette just keeps the lows intact there. So there we go. So there's our comparison of that. So let's go ahead and do the cleans right quick. I did do a capture on the cleans, and just a quick, here are the settings that I have, so I just left everything the same. So let's go over to the cleans. We'll go over to the PRS. Actually, we're going to turn that down just a little bit. All right, so let's go over to, let's look at the Torpedo. See what that sounds like. So here's the PRS. Here's the Torpedo. Again, it sounds brighter. And PRS. Yeah, there's a little more low end to the MT15. It's not a bad capture. Now what I did is, I did do this, capture this with the single coil in mind, so I went ahead and changed that on my guitar. That was the PRS. Here's the Capture X. It's really twangy. Right, of course, right? It's a single coil setup when I pull this knob here. So that was the ideal with that. So let's go over and check out the Fryette. And PRS. Fryette. And then back over to the Torpedo X. The Torpedo is a little closer. They're both kind of like in the middle. So you got the Fryette, who kind of tends to lean on the low ends, and then you have the Capture X that kind of leans on the high ends, and then the PRS is right in the middle of all those. So Capture X and Fryette. Definitely a lot lower in volume. And then the PRS. All right, there we go. That's all I really wanted to do for the cleans. I just kind of wanted to see if there was a big difference between them. But it sounds like it's keeping the same kind of characteristics with the Fryette keeping the lows, and then the Capture X keeping the highs. Doesn't have as much lows, and that's kind of the same thing across the board. So let's go ahead and do a quick comparison between the 6505 and the PRS. So I already have this hooked up. What I need to do is just move over one of these cables. There we go. All right, so we're going to go back over to the lead. All right, so that's the PRS. Here's the 6505. PRS. Uh, 6505. Now, 6505 does have a resonance switch, so I can kind of boost that up even a little bit more. So it does sound a little thicker on here. PRS. Let's go ahead and try to bring up the bass on the PRS. Bring back some of the presence. All right, 65.5. For a small amp, it really does really good. You know what? I actually have my single coil engaged, so let's do the humbucker. All right, so now we're on 65.5 with the humbuckers. And the PRS. PRS sounds a tad more aggressive. PRS. Okay, so what I'm hearing is a little more low end on the 6505, obviously, because it's a bigger amp and all that. But the PRS definitely does a really good job of maintaining that low end resonance and just making it fun to play. They definitely have a lot of the same characteristics. The only thing that I'm noticing with the 6505 is it's a tad fizzier, just a little bit. And then the MT15 is tighter and kind of sounds like it has a boost on it. Obviously I'm not using a boost for any of these, but let's go ahead and hear that one more time. All right, that was the MT15, and this is 65.5. MT15. one more time, 6505. All right. So, what do you guys think? Kind of wanted to get these, you know, some thoughts on this. I will have these captures up on the DMD QC for a limited time. I think both of the captures are really good. If you want a little bit of a higher kind of frequency, then go ahead and go for the Capture X captures, and the Fryette just has a little more low end. So depending on your setup and your speakers, you might like one or the other more, you know? It just depends on your setup. So go ahead, try them out. Let me know what you think of these guys, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, DMD out.